I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gorgano Show!
Happy Tuesday to all across the Delaware Valley as we count down the month of April. Isn't that nice? As we get to roll into May. Gorgeous May. Kentucky Derby, Cinco de Mayo. May's a good month. You got Memorial Day weekend. It's the gateway to summer is May. Makes you feel good. That's what May does. Also, May is synonymous with football, with basketball and hockey playoffs. And I don't know about you guys, right? So I've been enjoying the hell out of the NHL playoffs. Like I watch them every night. I'm just in on it. It's so much fun. It's just great theater. And I'm imagining, because I'm in a good place with the Flyers, that pretty soon, right, they're going to be there, and it'll really going to amp it up. But I miss it, man. I miss playoffs. And then with basketball, I'm having a hard time. And it's really because of the state of the Sixers that I'm having a hard time. Now, listen, there's not great theater in the NBA. It's first round, so you're going to have a lot of blowouts. Like Cleveland, Miami, there's series that are just, waste of time. Like Cleveland, Miami is a waste of time. Like the idea, like the NBA needs to rethink their play-in situation, which is entirely stupid. If you're not that, you see what kind of how bad these teams are to get into the playoffs. Like, they're not going to do anything. Why are you wasting everybody's time with playing stuff? Right? It's bad enough that half the first round is a bunch of mismatches. Now you got some good stuff, like Clippers Denver is a real good series. But it's for me, I realize this, it's lacking something because there's no Sixers. Because it's dark. There's no playoffs in Philadelphia. Hockey or NBA, that's a big deal. So there's a little bit of an emptiness because I was thinking about the draft and I go, all right, the sports landscape, how is it from here in May? And you go, all right, you have the schedule release May 14th. And then after that, we got training camp. Like, baseball's a long season, and my fear is this is a season that is going to try our patience. Because while I think they're a playoff team, and I think the Phils are good, we've already chronicled that they lack fun, and we also know that there's nothing that's really going to change. Like, they're going to get hot, they're going to hit, like Schwarber, Harper, they're gonna be, that's who they are. And they're gonna have games where they put up, like the Mets put up 19 yesterday. The Phillies will have a couple of games like that. But are they gonna be so dominant that it's gonna sweep us up? I don't think so. So I'm looking between now and the start of training camp. Is that what we're at? We gotta go through May, June, July. A quarter of the season without, like, tingles when it comes to sports. And even we get to August, it's still training camp. You're really 4 months until the butterflies show up at your front door and start of the NFL season. Good morning, VG.
Good morning.
When do you get butterflies next?
We got butterflies today, dude. We got a revenge game. Mackenzie Gore, Zach Wheeler, little revenge. I got the butterflies now. We got NHL lottery, draft lottery is either May 5th or 6th. Nobody knows. How does this league not know when their draft lottery is depending on the playoff schedule? Like, what's going on?
You're right. I skipped over draft lottery.
Yeah.
Now, I know you're being facetious with Mackenzie Gore.
I'm not. I am looking forward to tonight's revenge game. He struck out like 40 of them last time. Let's go. It's Wheels the same matchup as opening day. Let's go.
Come on, bro.
Okay, I ain't lying on this one, man.
Come on. I know when you're yanking my chain.
I have right down here on my notes, Gore Wheeler revenge game.
That's not a revenge game. It's the Nationals. There's no such thing as a revenge game against the Nationals.
Man, they struck out. The whole team struck out twice.
Okay.
So I'm ready to look a little better this time.
But you get my point about, like, is the next time the butterfly is going to appear will be training camp or the start of the season?
I don't know. I hope not. There's some good baseball in between, though.
Yeah, but are they going to be? Here's my fear, because I like when everybody's in, right? I don't think everybody's going to be. I think they're going to be good. Like, I think they're a playoff team. I think the next time we have Phillies butterflies happens during the season, the playoffs.
I mean, that'll probably be dread. Everyone's going to be scared.
Yes.
Yes. But I think everybody's all in.
Do you?
Just half of them.
I don't think
being all in doesn't mean they're all in thinking they're going to win. They're watching the games, and they're very critical with a highly critical eye.
So this is where I think you and I differ.
All right.
I don't think they're paying attention.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't think that they're locked in. Or last year they were locked in.
Maybe it's just the people. I don't know. I was out last night. My buddy's going through some stuff, so I went out to have a beer or four with him. And there's a lot of Phillies chatter out there. There's draft chatter, a lot of Phillies talk. Get right this series. Weather's breaking. So maybe it's the people around me, but I feel like
I put it this way.
There's even Sixers talk last night.
Really?
Yes.
What, the lottery?
No.
What are they talking?
Dame's out for a year and a half.
Right.
Giannis said he only wants to be in Milwaukee if they're contenders.
Right.
Little maxi trade package for Giannis talk last night.
Giannis. I mean, listen,
if Oubre opts in the trade machine, I worked it out. Maxi and Oubre work out for Giannis, and you threw some first round picks.
Well, maybe can you keep Maxi?
No, you're not going to take Paul George, dude.
Well, no, but you're going to trade you're going to trade McCain.
Because
they want to go young.
You can't do that with the.
No, you got to put the salary in there. I get it. No, that's where the Paul George comes into play, just to take the salary. But you give him the first round pick.
I'm sure I would love for someone to take that, but the reality is not that. And Maxi's a young
Giannis. The problem is Embiid, because I still. What's the difference between the Sixers and the Bucks?
Paul George here, maybe. Jared McCain, Rookie of the Year. Healthy Embiid.
Without Maxi, it only works with Maxi.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. The trade only works with Maxi too. I mean, the trade works with Paul George if they take him.
No, but if I'm Giannis, I go, well, if you're trading Maxi, I got no interest. Maxi and Giannis, that would excite me.
All right, so a bunch of picks, Paul George.
Embiid.
So anyway, there was some Sixers talk last night at the bar, which was interesting.
What Phillies talk is there?
I mean, Nola's looking good his last two outings. People are like,
dude, I spend hours, days at a baseball field. All right?
Yeah.
That's my weekend. I'll be at a field tonight. I'll be at a field Thursday, and I'll be at a field all weekend.
Well, maybe those people aren't watching enough games because they're watching all these baseball games.
And I don't know, because when things are good, it's always Phillies. But I don't sense the interest. I sense hey, well, let me know about the playoffs.
Let you know about the playoffs. You got to ride the journey, man. It's a 7-month journey.
You're speaking my language. I invented the journey.
And Cashbird goes saying, baseball's amazing. If you aren't in, you never were. Big Juicy Germ, I'm all in.
I love it.
It seems like they're in. Yeah, the chat seems in.
What about Fit Dad CEO?
Yeah, I don't see him. Oh, he's out. We'll see him in October.
You know him. He's going to be ripping. No, I'll ask Andrew. Andrew's out and about. No, he's attending.
He's going to see football matches.
You got to put me down before you even ask the question.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different crowd.
I watch sports, buddy.
It's a different crowd, man.
I watch sports, buddy. He hit you right between the eyes.
It was a jab.
Do I hear things about Phillies? Yes and no. Are they good things? Not so much.
Yeah, everyone's all in. They're just hypercritical and watching them with a microscope.
How did they watch?
Oh, come on. Everyone's complaining all the time. They all got to watch My Twitter feed is nothing but Phillies complaints.
You know what it
like,
is, too?
the
I got my
majority
buddy
of the time.
Vinny, who's a baseball guy, right?
Mhm.
And this dude, I can't watch him. Oh, they're horrible. Every day. They're unwatchable.
Right.
He goes, they're
But they all
unwatchable.
watch it and tell you it's unwatchable.
It's unwatchable.
He's watching those.
We're like
Everybody's
hate watching almost.
Yes.
Yeah. Disgust watch.
I don't know, but they're not a bad team. That's why they're not a hate watch type of team. But I do agree that they don't have like a panache about them.
No, they do not. The rankings just came out too. Power rankings. I don't know. I thought I had them. Damn.
But they don't have that sort of like, oh man, I gotta watch them. I gotta see them.
Here's the MLB power
Like
rankings.
last
Where do you think
year-
the Phils are on MLB's current power rankings? Came
5.
out yesterday.
6,
No.
7.
No.
9.
Yes. They got the Mariners, Tigers, and Giants ahead of the Phillies right now. Get
No,
outta
they
here.
should be 5.
Get
Stop.
outta here. Yeah.
The Mariners. They got good pitching, but they got no hitting.
Yeah. Come on. Come on.
You can't do that.
Uh,
I mean, the Phillies are a good team. I just don't sense. Here's my biggest fear as a sports fan:
yeah.
that we need change to keep us interested.
Oh, well, I don't think
Like the
if
same
you
old,
win,
same
they're
old.
okay. If you win the Super Bowl, we don't want no change. But if you go out looking horrible against the Mets, yeah, we want some change because we don't want to roll that back again. And that's what it feels like they're doing.
But again, you're talking about 3 pretty good years from this group: World
Yeah.
Series, NLCS,
Trending downwards.
Okay, well, it's baseball.
I'm just
so,
telling you what the critics are
I
saying.
mean, I know. I hear the trend down. That's coming. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what they say. They show you that little graph.
I know.
Yeah.
No, come
Yeah.
on.
I know.
People say, well, the same thing in 08. They just went downhill. Win the World Series.
Yes. Futz says he watches every game until he sees Romano warming up. Romano, my bad.
Man. No, I hear you. But I'm looking at it and I go, well, what's interesting? Like, what as a sports fan, is this going to be the summer of non-sports in Philadelphia?
No, stop
The
it.
summer of
You gotta-
looking forward to training. I
Well,
remember
that's
these
your-
days.
It's your summer every summer.
What's that?
That's your summer every summer. Looking forward to training camp.
No, come on. I'm a huge, I am with Phillies in baseball. But
You always want to flash. You always want to fast forward to summer. You are a fast forward summer guy to get the football season. You are. You love the Phillies, but you love the fast forward summer.
yeah, I do.
You do.
Yeah, July. I would be okay with like X in July out of the calendar.
Yeah.
Sports calendar.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Baseball's boring in July.
Well, you got the All-Star break. Well,
Right, it's monotonous. That's my point. By the time July, no, you're like, I've seen, you know how many baseball games I've watched between my kids' games
40,000 probably.
and Phillies game? And I'll go home, put on a Dodge. Last night I was watching
No,
Dodge.
you were on the beat,
I
right?
was watching, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but last night I was watching Dodgers Marlins last night.
Oof.
All right. The hockey game, the Lance, they were done early.
Yep. They
So I
went
put on
6-2.
yeah. I mean, July. I mean, I'm just dying for football.
Eddie Ray saying we're going to have the summer of Pisan when Michael Misa becomes a Flyer. I'm all right. I see a little Flyer interest this summer, off season. Yeah, you're gonna get the butterflies with some off season moves by the Flyers probably.
But I will tell you, you're right. I will tell you, I would not look for a coach anytime soon.
What do you mean?
I don't think there's going to be an announcement for a coach anytime soon.
Oh, but they're looking.
Of course,
Oh.
but I think it's going to be a while.
Okay, I'm good with a nice, thorough coaching search.
Just FYI, in case you were wondering.
Yeah.
You know,
Is that any particular reason? Want to see where they pick in the draft and
I
what
don't
they
know.
get?
I
All right.
just think it's going to be a while before there's an announcement.
Here we go. Robert is in the chat. Says Phillies giving me Sixers in 2022 vibes. Come up short multiple seasons, and now I don't care about the regular season. So there are people out there.
Yeah, that's the problem is that, and I don't blame them because they've devalued the regular season. The coming up short in the playoffs 3 years in a row even though it was great, like the World Series was awesome, epic World Series, even in Arizona, as tough as that was, last year was a tough year.
Well,
because,
last year hurt.
Because here's the problem. They got off to that torrid start, and then from London, it was like this.
Yeah, it's been.
And it ended, you got the bookends. It was London Mets and playoff Mets.
So it's been a long stretch of mediocrity. They're basically a 500 team since that London series. So yeah, people are.
But their pitching is good, excellent. You know what? Somebody brought this up to us last week, and I think they're spot on. You know what they need? Phenom.
They need. Who doesn't need a phenom?
But they need a young blood.
It's Otto's coming.
But they need that. And listen, I can't wait for Painter, but they need a position player. Like they need a phenom position player to bring life.
He's coming. Otto Kemp is tearing it up right now in AAA. Like tearing it. I think he leads the league in home runs. He's batting like 315. He's coming. It can't be another 2 weeks of this. He's got to find his way up here the way Rojas is playing.
I mean, what don't you think that would light a fire with people? I think so.
Yeah. If you tell me they're going to bring up the AAA home run leader to play outfield, he's right-handed bat. Yeah, that'll jazz people up.
Is he Matt Kemp's son?
I don't know who Otto Kemp is. Let me check a look.
I'm just curious. I didn't know. Where did he come from?
I don't know, dude.
He's come from, he was not a top prospect.
No, he's not on the list at all in the prospects.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's baseball. Baseball, you can find the stroke, you can find your arm late, something happens. That's part of it. All right, lots to get to. Today, we will hear from Baldy today. Baldy Day.
Nice, Baldy.
So we're excited. We'll talk to Baldy coming up at 10 o'clock. His thoughts on the draft. Our man David Murphy, columnist, will join us coming up shortly. And we'll talk to Coach Melik Brown, who trained Jihad Campbell.
Nice.
So Coach Melik does a lot of work with a lot of talent in South Jersey, all over the Delaware Valley.
All right.
And Coach Melik,
interesting to hear his side of it.
Yeah, he's worked out with Roku, like all the things. So he worked out with Jihad. So he worked Jihad out. So we'll talk to Coach Melik coming up shortly as well today. Kind of getting all into the birds. A lot of birds with David. So we'll talk about a lot of Eagles draft.
Yeah.
All right, lots to do.
So just real quick, Kemp had a couple injuries, signed here as a free agent last year. So he just came out of nowhere for the most part.
How old?
25. He's hitting 313. He's got 7 home runs in 26 games.
Yeah, 25 years old. That's the problem.
There's no problems with Otto, man. We're gonna have Otto and the German in center field. We'll be good.
Otto and the German.
Yeah, Kepler. We got Otto and Kepler in the outfield.
It's the German outfield.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
You act like I said he's 32. He's 25.
25's too old.
Too old. Too old for a phenom?
Yeah.
All right. So he's like...
They need a phenom. They need somebody in the outfield that's a legitimate prospect that can come in and breathe life. With all these picks, I've never seen a team who can't develop an outfielder.
It's unbelievable.
First of all, they draft constantly these, he's 5'2" guy, Mickey Moniak.
Right.
Like these pencil bat dudes.
Yes. Can we just...
that are small and slight.
Let's get a giant.
Like, give me a kid with a stick.
Yeah. 6'4", 6'5".
Dude, it's not hard to find.
Doesn't seem to be for other teams. Even
I could spend a month and I'd dig up a guy for you. I'd go from all around Florida, Texas, California, and up in the Carolinas. I'll find a kid.
All right.
You and Andrew handle the show.
Yeah,
all right? I'm in search of a power hitting outfielder.
I wouldn't do that to our listeners. I listen too much.
Just contact Brain. He was already, what was he, the manager of the team for years in the 80s when he was calling people? You could just have him.
Listen, your shirt looks great. You look nice. But because the way you just have it unbuttoned, Big Juicy Germ says You got that unbuttoned look like you just worked an interrogation. Like a detective, all exhausted from
With the other shirt underneath. Oh, that's great. I love it. Yeah, it's my beach. It's my
a good shirt.
It's more like a beachy.
You look good.
attire.
I thought we had someone important coming in the studio. I was like, man,
No,
I'm
I just got a couple Zooms later.
I like it.
All right. You want to tell us about some Ashley?
Oh, I'd love to. Got to have some good furniture. Spring's here. Flowers are blooming. And hey, Ashley's got some low prices blooming. And it's time to spring in some savings with Ashley Furniture. You can currently save up to 50% off living rooms, bedrooms, and dining rooms, and you have it all delivered for free. Plus, you get long-term, no-interest financing. You can also save on top brand mattresses and get free delivery, setup, and the all-important removal, so you don't have to worry about anything. But don't wait. Spring into savings now at Ashley, South Jersey, and Florida. Financing is with approved credit. Minimum purchase required. Some exclusions may apply. See the store for complete details and hurry to an Ashley Furniture store in South Jersey or Philadelphia area. And you can also check them out, ashleyfurniture.com.
Ashley, tell me the truth. You're lying to me, PG.
The big chicken parm scandal.
I'm on the caper. Hey, let's talk about Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. Yeah. Fighting's back. What do you say?
K Red said, Cuz comes out of the interrogation room with a heavy sigh and says, this guy's giving me nothing.
I got nothing. Can you believe it? VG, I owe you too. VG came strong with my coffee today. He did me a solid. Listen, fightings today, start the series. It's a big deal. All right. It's revenge. What's the line on the game?
Ooh, let's see. They got to be heavy favorites tonight, right? Yeah.
With wheels? Yeah, I got to believe that. Wheels up.
Yeah, it takes me a second to get there. I'll get it.
Well, that's all right. We got 4 playoff hockey, 4 playoff hoop.
All right.
All right. So we got a good sports night tonight. So I'm looking forward to it. Between Wheeler and then all the playoff games, it's a good sports night. All right, you can bet it all on the Bet Park Sportsbook online
Phillies
casino
are
app.
minus 195.
It's a good price,
Yeah,
hefty price.
You can go run line.
Here you go.
Plus 110.
Check it all out. And all the slots, the hot online slots, they got it all that you'll love. Cash Eruption, Cleopatra. What else you can play?
Do some lucky taps, a balloon bash lucky tap. Hang out with that. Little fortune coin.
Fortune coin?
Yeah, I like a little.
What is that?
I don't know. It's like a Asian theme, like dragons and stuff.
All right, nice. All right, you got it all right there on the app. Have some fun with it. Live dealer, blackjack, roulette, craps, and all those slots. In fact, new customers get up to $1,000 casino bonus back if you're down the first 24 hours. You got to be 21. You got betparks.com has all the details. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right.
Barney, like you just got to set of Barney Miller.
Yeah, they're scripting you out.
They're doing a whole detective show.
Awesome.
They got a whole detective
Barney
show going on
Miller.
now.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
my
really
God. Hold on. I'll play getting it apart. Oh, my God.
You can't hit me. There are witnesses. Turn around, George.
Let me tell you something. All right. I know you did it, you freaking creep. All right. You did it.
Like your buddy's rolling on you in the next room.
You know what he told me the other side? He said, you were the wheel man. All right. Listen, you want to go do hard time? 10 to 20.
I love those characters. That's a great character.
The best. Who are we looking for? Oh, my man Joe Martino said that the detective I was thinking about was Maddox.
Oh, Mannix? Oh,
Remember Mannix?
No, I don't.
He was like a detective dude. We had all those detectives.
Yeah.
All those
Yeah,
shows.
I
How
remember
come
that.
there's no shows like dude? There needs to be a good detective show back,
It does. Like,
right?
Yeah.
Aren't
Like
we
a
due
cool
for that?
guy, cool
Yeah, like
detective.
a Kojak type.
Yes.
How about the guy Kojak walking around the toothpick, right?
Who loves you, baby?
Yeah. He had the sunglasses.
Yeah.
He was a cool bald-headed guy.
Dude, awesome.
Like, you want to talk about the bald head
Yes.
made ball cool.
Yeah.
Kojak was the man.
Yeah. You ever seen?
Telly Savalas.
You know Kojak?
I do not. No,
Oh, man.
You don't know Kojak?
I don't know
I'm gonna
Kojak.
find-
Dude,
you gotta
get
find a
picture
link.
of
I'll look it
Kojak.
up right now.
Get a YouTube like him saying, "Who loves you, baby?"
Yeah.
Okay.
So the actor was a guy named Telly Savalas.
Yeah.
He was like this cool Greek dude, right? Like he had the tan, he had the sunglasses, and he was a bald-headed guy. And he walked around with a toothpick.
Oh, here he is. Here
like
he
the
is.
toothpick look is a good look.
Good look. Sometimes you have the fedora. Sometimes.
Yeah, like you walk around with a toothpick, you know it means business. You know what I mean? Put it up. There we go. Oh, where we got?
There he is. There's Kojak.
Can you get a close up?
Oh man, he's got the one.
Can you
the
get a close-up?
He's got lollipops.
Yeah, he's a lolly. Look at that.
Those
Come on, my
frames
man was
are
cool,
awesome.
man.
Yeah, dude.
Look at that.
That's a cool dude.
Right. I mean, that guy's that's Kojak.
I like
Yeah.
the sunglasses, man. Those
Oh,
are
yeah.
Nice
nice.
glasses,
Yeah,
right?
those are good
I mean, that's-
glasses.
by the way, he can look like it's today. That show was from the 70s.
Yeah, good suit.
Yeah.
Good suit. Kojak.
Kojak.
Kojak was cool, man. All right. Your brain right now is loving it. Because you know the brain was a Kojak guy. Without a doubt. Let's, our man, new dad.
Yeah.
All right. We got to check in on how the baby's coming. And our man, one of the great voices of the Delaware Valley, terrific columnist David Murphy from the Inquirer. Good morning, my brother.
Morning. I totally forgot, and your producer texted me, and I was carrying Maxwell around, and so I had to scramble. It was my first dad scramble.
Now, where's Maxwell at?
Oh, he's out. He's minding his own business. No, he's up with.
I would
I
love
put him in the
next time
car.
you hold him next time. I want to see him.
Yeah,
Makes his
he's
debut.
he's a little fidgety this morning. We went on the, Rebecca's having. I mean, I don't know why there's Father's Day, because mothers deserve every day of the year. I mean, she's she's every 3 hours for the last 5 weeks. She's been pumping it out, man, and she's exhausted right now. So I had to I ran him upstairs and put him in the bassinet next to her. So, but yeah, dude, it's I was thinking of you today because he was fidgeting this morning, getting a little squirrely. Just needed him to calm down and let me focus on something, and took him outside, put him in the stroller, just walking up and down the street, and it didn't really work. So
It didn't work. The stroller usually works. Like
the guy,
that's
look, man, the guy.
because you're in
the
town,
guy-
right? Don't you live in you live in town, right?
No, I live in Swarthmore, Delco.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, we're up and down the streets, and
Right.
it calmed down, but he he just wants to see the world. The guy was trapped inside for 9 months, and he wants his eyes open right now. So
Yeah. I don't
it's
blame
good.
him.
You'd rather that than the opposite. Now my dog's barking at the door, dude. It's just it's
Dude,
chaos here.
Listen, get ready. It's still, man. The other night, they order food, right? Like they want to so takeout, which is another $70, right?
It's
Who gets
ridiculous.
this? My oldest just eats a whole pizza himself, right? And fries. Right? It's just ridiculous. So we're all down in the basement. My oldest is playing some game, and then me and my youngest Massimo we're playing the show, right? So the food the guy delivery comes. So they go, my oldest says, I don't have a shirt on. My youngest doesn't do anything. So I got to go up from the basement upstairs. The dog's freaking out. My wife comes out, get the dog. And she's screaming at me. The dog's going to run out. Gooch is going to run out. I'm like, I got the dog. Just leave me alone. You got to pay for it. The dude outside with the food, I'm trying to hang. Now, Gooch is like 80 pounds, right? So I'm kind of holding him off, trying to get the food, pay the kid, and then she's screaming at me. The boys aren't doing balls. I mean, this is your life. Just so you know, this is what you get to look forward to. And your
Hey,
wife will scream at you 10 times a day.
At least and then you have to wake up at God knows what time to get ready for this, right? I mean, I can't imagine what kind of schedule you're on.
Well, I get up at 5:30 every day. And
Okay,
then
that's not bad.
I take Anthony to the bus stop. Then I take Massimo to school on my way into the office. So that's and then I rush home around 4:00 is baseball, football, whatever is going on.
You're a hero, man. I can only imagine what the next 18 years are going to be like in my life.
Dude, I'm telling you. And by the way, you look at your wife right now with all this admiration, and she deserves every bit of it. You go, oh my God, you're a superhero. How in the world are you doing this? Then 18 years or whatever it is, 16 years later, she's going to be screaming at you every day and then not only screaming at you, but complaining about the kids. See, now I got 2 boys, right? So if you have another boy,
Right.
all their faults are your faults,
Yeah.
right? They're sloppy. They don't pick up after themselves, right? There's socks everywhere, right? It's not wrong, but somehow it's my fault that they don't do this.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing about women is the somehow the universal projection of every single man's faults onto whatever man happens to be standing in front of them at the time.
Yes, yes. Your son, oh, he stinks. What? He doesn't even shower. He goes to practice and he doesn't shower. All right, like what do you want me to do? Like I told him,
You got to tell her, man. You got to say practice.
You know,
Man, we talk about practice.
he stinks. He smells like a primo. Oh. And then he wants to wear cologne, and he's wearing too much cologne. Did you talk to him about that?
That's a rite of passage, man. Just slathering on that jupe, man. Oh,
Yeah.
I love it.
My little one, right, Massimo, he swims in it, right? I'm going, dude, like Sunday, you get in the car in the morning and you smell that, you're like, oh, it gives you a headache. Then he's got the chain with his Massimo dog tag.
I know. Is he like is he on the corner singing with the doo-wop group?
Oh yeah, dude. And then he's miserable because he's up all night. Oh, I can't. I'm telling you, this is your life.
Yeah.
You won't you won't want to trade it for the world, but this is your life.
Yeah. I'm 5 weeks in and I can already see where it's headed.
Yeah, but it's beautiful.
I do it for those that came before me.
It's a beautiful existence.
Yeah, it's great.
So what do you think of the draft?
You know, I used to love the draft. I really did. I mean, I would be watching hours and hours of film and coming up with opinions and you know, doing my own mock drafts in my head. And look, man, the older you get, the more you realize, no one knows anything. You know, I mean, we got an entire industry that had Shedeur Sanders mocked at the number 1 and number 2 overall pick for 6 months, and the guy goes in the 5th round, you know? So, look, I think on a high level, I like the philosophy that Howie's been going for. I mean, it's best player on the board, you know, winning pedigree, big schools, athleticism, positional versatility. But in terms of actual Jahad Campbell, I don't know. I mean, look, everyone loved the Nolan Smith pick 2 years ago. Thought he was the next Lawrence Taylor, best defensive end in the draft, top 5 pick that went number 31. And then the guy didn't play for a year and a half and was playing with the scrubs in the 3rd preseason game. And then everyone gave up on him. And then now all of a sudden he's back to be Nolan Smith. So no one knows anything. You know, I like the pick. I like Jahad Campbell in college, but you know, I don't know. At number 32, look, you know, you're talking about Marcus Smith, Nelson Aguilar territory down there. It's such a dart throw in the bottom third of that first round. So I'm a total wait and see guy when it comes to the draft. You know, I think Nolan Smith's a great example. I think you would say right now he looks like he's going to pan out, but at the same time, you know, there was no impact for essentially a year and a half. So,
yeah, but
you know,
isn't that our fault? Like, you shouldn't expect that. Like, the rarity is Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean.
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
You know, I mean, normally you gotta give a kid a learning curve of a year and a half.
And that, that's really the story. I mean, that is the amazing story. I mean, last year's draft, that just does not happen.
Right.
Even Sheldon Brown, Lito Shepherd, those guys were understudies to Bobby Taylor and Troy Vincent for a year and a half, 2 years.
Yep.
It just doesn't happen where you get two guys at a position that is among the hardest to staff, in the NFL outside the offensive line, step in and not just start, but make an impact. I mean, those two guys are the reason why that defense turned around. They're the reason why Zach Bond was free to become Zach Bond. And then you throw Jalen Carter on top of that. I mean, you've got three legitimate all-pro caliber guys that they've drafted that made immediate impacts in 2 straight drafts. And that's, that's just, it's incredible, really. And it's like part of it is circumstance. Part of it is I think the one thing Howie does, I wrote about this yesterday. I mean, everyone wants to try to find this like kind of secret sauce, money ball, what's Howie doing that no one else is doing. And really what it comes down to is just developing a process, to the point where you're making the best possible decision every time. And if you do that, at some point, more are going to work out than they don't, I mean, look, I think we're seeing a maturation of Howie a little bit, where his first 10 years on the job, you saw kind of all the theoretical kind of threads. There's nothing different. Marcus Smith, positionally versatile, athletic, Sidney Jones or Sidney Brown coming off an injury, undervalued kind of guy. They didn't work out, Danny Watkins thinking outside the box. Didn't work out. But I think the longer you're in the job and the more you get a chance to fail and learn from those mistakes, I think we're kind of seeing the coalescing of kind of just Howie's decision making on draft day. And I think he's getting to a point where there's more hits than misses,
Yeah, I mean, looking at the schools that you draft from, right? So,
right.
I mean, obviously the Georgia Alabama SEC thing is prominent. Also listening to, I think your coaches like Fangio, like Jahad Campbell is a Fangio pick, right? That's Howie pick, but that Fangio is in his ears going, listen, I love this kid. We had this kid graded X, Y, and Z, and those coaches matter,
Yeah, and that was my big thing. I mean, I shredded Howie in the organization 2 years ago during that the second half collapse when Howie and Nick had that press conference with their hat in their hands and the biggest problem with the Eagles at that point was the lack of continuity on the coaching side. And if you look, I always point to the Steelers and the Ravens as kind of like the two ideal organizations when it comes to draft personnel coaching synergy. Like it's not a fluke that the Steelers every 3 years pick the next Antonio Brown as a wide receiver in the 3rd or 4th round, because they have the same guys in place who know what they're looking for. They have the same scheme. And I think scheme continuity is such a big thing because you have a guy like Fangio who can look and be like, look, this guy, I know what I'm going to do with him, regardless of where he's ranked in the ether overall in a vacuum, like for our scheme, this is the guy. And I think to your point, that's why I would tend to think Jahad Campbell's going to be a good pick because, Vic Fangio is sitting there looking at him being like, oh, this guy's got a lot of Zach Bond traits in him, or this guy's got a lot of whatever traits in him. And I think hopefully, that's what we're going to see. It's why I was a big Nick Sirianni guy in terms of keeping him, because you can't keep starting over every time you hit a rough patch, or else you're just going to keep on, you're going to have a good year and then you're going to hit the skids and you're going to start over and you're going to change the scheme and you're going to have to redo everything. And I think now, hopefully they're at a point where, and I think the offensive line is kind of the case in point where you've had the same coach there for, 6, 7, 8 years, and you've been able to bring guys in and develop them and give them, let Stoutland go to work. And I think kind of taking that offensive line environment and extrapolating that to the whole roster is kind of where it's at right now. And hopefully that's what we're seeing with Vic Fangio and some of these, undervalued players that we're seeing him pick up.
All right, switching gears for a minute. True or false? We will not feel sports butterflies until September. Now, I don't know about you. Like when I say sports butterflies, I mean like you wake up and you got them flapping in, and you can't wait for that night, right? Or that,
NFL, week
event.
1 and Sunday, week 1. It's my favorite day of the year is always the first NFL Sunday. I mean, I wake up, it's always a beautiful day.
Yeah.
You got those butterflies. I always play the power and the glory from NFL films and run around the house and have the windows open. It's I know exactly what you're saying, and yeah, I agree. I'll tell you what, sure aren't getting them at the lottery or on draft day with the Sixers, I'm sure, unless somehow number 1 gets pulled.
Right.
But yeah,
right.
I don't.
Both teams are dark. NBA, NHL, Flyers, Sixers, dark, and the Phillies.
Yeah. Well, it's the biggest problem with baseball is you don't. It's what that season's missing. You don't get that because there's 162 games, and everyone knows that what happens in April doesn't really matter, and it's kind of hard to get worked up for it. And then you have this team, which you're watching the same team that we've watched for 4 years and watch them do the same things. And yeah.
Two shot.
Yeah.
Come on.
I agree.
Come on. You get butterflies every time Alvarado's on the mound, every time Romano's on the mound, every time Rojas tries to bunt. There's all kinds of reasons to get butterflies with this team.
Why can't he?
I'll tell you what.
Bunt?
You feel something in your stomach when that bullpen comes in.
You're right.
It ain't butterflies.
Oh my God. Oh,
Dave, have you ever seen a defensive specialist like Rojas who can't bunt like this?
Yeah. Look, this is my biggest beef with Dave Dombrowski. He just like it seems like he gets an idea in his head, and it doesn't matter what evidence to the contrary is out there. He decides that, like Austin Hayes, which I acknowledge the guy's got like 80 home runs right now. Which
No, he's got more now than he had all
last
year.
But it was like classic last year where Austin Hayes has not been a good player for a year and a half. He's got a 600 OPS, and the Phillies trade for him. And Dombrowski says, "Oh, our scouts liked him 2 years ago at the trade deadline." Like, well, that's great, but 2 years have passed, and there's same thing with Whit Merrifield and Romano, and Romano's a great one. Like, the team that knows him best, that has had him for 6 years, who has seen all his medicals, who has seen him day to day, a team for whom he was one of the best closers statistically in Major League Baseball, they decide he's not worth, $8.5 million or whatever. There needs to be some intellectual humility to recognize that they probably they might be onto something, that whatever's in your scouting reports, you should probably side with the guys that are making that decision based with the most information. And I think that's kind of classic where Romano shows up, and you could have guessed that he was going to be like this because his last team said goodbye to him and then signed your guy.
Do you think it's really scouting report and stuff, or do you? Because I feel like he had some financial constraints this year, and he was trying to work on a smaller budget, and Romano fit.
But the point is, Romano's a great example because it's literally apples for apples. Toronto had the option of going to arbitration with him, keeping around for a year. So essentially, Toronto declined to give him a 1 year, $9 million contract or whatever it was. So, that team that knows him best decided he wasn't worth 1 year, $9 million, whereas the Phillies decided, we see value here. Well, it would have been value if they signed him for 1 year, $4 million, but they were essentially paying him the exact rate that Toronto decided not to pay him, and that's kind of where it's wishful thinking. And I think Merrifield's the same way, where they gave the guy $8 million and, every piece of evidence over the previous year, it said he's probably done, and
I was all in on Whit though.
Yeah, I was all in. And I liked Hayes. The problem with Hayes was he was hurt.
Yeah.
Which goes back to their biggest problem, Dave. They can't develop a freaking outfielder, power hitting outfielder. How hard is it to develop a power hitting outfielder? It's unbelievable to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the amazing thing because it spans, multiple generations of front office people. And it really is actually amazing that the Phillies are where they are right now. Given just the absolute, it's very hard to go 0 for whatever it is, 10 or 15 on your top prospects. But,
Pat Burrell, the
the
last
irony
one.
of that whole rebuilding phase is it didn't yield anything.
No.
I mean, Jake Thompson stunk. Scott Kingery stunk. Maikel
Mickey
Franco stunk.
Moniak.
Mickey Moniak stunk. What's the guy's name? The guy, he's not even in the majors anymore. First round pick from, I can't remember, from Virginia, the outfielder, like eighth pick.
Yes.
They traded him to the White Sox
Yeah.
for a bag of donuts. But
How about the pitcher who got gassed running the first base?
Who was it?
He was in Texas.
who was that?
Who's the?
Oh, yeah. Velasquez?
No.
Or no?
No. Oh, come on.
Drebeck?
No, not
Appel?
Drebeck. Who?
Thompson was from, I think Jake Thompson was from.
No. He went to Texas. He was a big time prospect. He got up here and they babied him, and he got.
Spencer Howard.
Spencer
Yeah.
Howard.
Yeah. I totally forgot about him. So yeah, I mean, I think that look.
Really,
I'll say
he
this.
just stink at drafting.
I will say this. This crop that they have right now. There's a guy named Otto Kemp who down in Lehigh Valley.
That's my boy.
Undrafted, wild story. Does not look anything like you would expect a Major League Baseball player to look like, but the guy has just hit at every level, and he's continuing to hit down at Lehigh Valley. They got a guy named Gabriel Rincones, who was their second or third round pick a couple of years ago. Built like Pat Burrell, left-handed bat. He crushes the ball. And then they've got obviously Aiden Miller, who I do believe is the truth. So we'll see.
Right.
I think, look, Preston Mattingly, you got to give these guys a little time. I think the system's headed in the right direction, but they definitely need these guys to pan out because that's going to determine this next kind of Phillies 2.0 of this era is whether these guys hit or not.
No, totally.
Do you think Kemp comes up soon?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think a lot depends on if they win, if they feel desperate, if they, I don't know where he would play.
Well, they got him playing left field now. He's been starting a bunch of games in left field.
The Kepler, I think you got to give Kepler a little time. He hasn't been awful, I don't think. I know the numbers haven't necessarily been there, but, I don't think he doesn't look like Whit Merrifield to me yet. So I think you have to give it time.
I'd shift him to center field. I'd put him in center and bring if Kemp comes up.
If Kepler, I don't know. I don't know if he could play center or not, but
I thought I already played like 1,000 games. He's played a bunch of games in center.
He's played in center. He doesn't look like a center fielder to me.
We'll see. I mean, look, it all depends on how desperate they get, but I don't think we're close to that time yet.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Brother, listen, God bless Max, all right? You call him Max?
I don't know. The guy has no idea where he is yet, so I don't really call him anything. I mean, Maxie, I guess, is what I call him.
Maxie? I love that, yeah. I did the Mossy. Mine is my Massimo. We call him Mossy.
I feel like I'm going to end up calling him Mac. I'm going to call him, probably call him Maxie.
Maxie's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Maxie Vaughn.
Yeah, Maxie's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, enjoy him, brother. God bless you, man. All right? We're rooting for you. You need anything, you let me know. All right?
I do. I appreciate all the advice. It really makes it it takes a village,
That's right.
Do you want his 0 to 12-month-old workout routine?
We're already doing tummy crawls and
cool
bouncy, and we're getting the hip flexors fired up. Yeah, we got a whole routine already.
My man, I love it. All right, brother. See you, pal. Good stuff. Here he is, David Murphy. I love Murphy. It's great.
Yeah, Murphy's chill.
Yeah, I was screaming at Massimo this morning.
Yeah, surprising.
And, he rolls his eyes like, because he's late. He's always late.
Which just makes you.
Let's go to bed. And I go, dude, you got to go to bed early. You want to be tall? Because yesterday he's like, my hands are almost as big as yours. Right?
Yeah.
Right? No, he's got to get sleep.
You gotta get to sleep. The growth happens during the
yes.
sleep. Yes. All right.
Yes.
All
I'm
right.
like, you got to sleep.
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Man.
All right.
Sleep. You know, I go, you want to be a quarterback? You got to sleep.
I see you put him in an induced coma for like 4 months.
Give me the
Comes
phone.
out a foot taller.
That freaking phone. I grabbed the phone. I give me that freaking phone. All right. You not to use the phone after 8 o'clock.
After 8?
Yeah.
No way. A teenager? That's got to be tough.
He's not a teenager yet.
When he rolls his eyes, it just sends you more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's the king of rolling the eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And then I want to just smash him. And I tell him all the time, I want to smash it. And then he imitates me. I want to smash it.
Way to de-escalate, Mas.
Forget about it.
Hey, here's a little stat I came across.
Autogram.
1980, 2008, good Phillies years, 2 of them. And this year, record after 28 games, 15 and 13, all 3 years.
All right. I like
We're
it.
trending.
I like it. Time now for the brain.
Brain. Red the brain finder.
Sportsbook online casino app, La Brain. Brain, you remember Kojak?
Yeah, Kelly Savalas, of course.
He was cool. He was the first
Yeah, he was.
cool ball guy.
Yeah, he definitely was. He was definitely cool, and he had that like persona about him where he was the man for sure.
Had the
100%.
toothpick.
It was a lollipop. I
Yeah,
thought it was
he
a
was cool.
toothpick, but it was always the lollipop.
oh,
I thought he
it was
went
a
between,
lollipop?
but
Oh, I
always
didn't
the
know.
lollipop.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was lollipop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
the
was
chat
lollipop.
corrected me.
Nice. All right. So, did you guys have a good night last night?
I was 3-1.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Clawing back from
Good-
14 to 15.
Good night.
How about you,
All right.
buddy?
3-0, so we want to combine.
Wow.
Oh,
6-1.
man. 6-1
Look at
combined.
that. You guys are heating up.
Woo.
Yeah. I'm 26 and 29. He's 14 and 15, so we're pretty close.
Yeah.
We will see what happens
It was,
tonight.
it was a weird
one,
night,
two,
sports night last night.
6 plays. I have 6 plays for tonight.
Yeah. Oh, good. But it was a weird sports night last night. It wasn't a real fun sports night last night.
Well, unless you had the Heat minus 50 with the alternate line. I mean, the Caps minus 50 with the alternate line. Man,
So
that was.
did you just bet the Cavaliers every 5 minutes?
But you know, it's funny when the games get that high, I tend not to do them because it got third quarter. Yes, third quarter I did, but that was it. Like, when it's a 65-point game, it become in the fourth quarter. I just don't have interest. But third quarter, I knew they'd still play their players. But that was absolutely, that was beyond embarrassing. And then, God, Houston. I feel bad. That was a tough loss. Jimmy. It's funny. If you're a Miami Heat fan, do you see what Tyler Hero's like? He's like, man, I miss Jimmy Butler. It's horrible. We traded him. It's amazing. He comes to this team. It's like, if you're a Heat fan, you're like, my God, you just completely like stop trying for us. And then you come here and you're the best player in the NBA. It would just,
it's infuriating.
when I say that would infuriate me, I would struggle with that.
I agree.
That's just, that's what he does, right?
Yeah.
When he tries, he's the best player, but man, I don't know. But we will see. But that was a good game last night, that Rocket game. It was a very good competitive game. I did enjoy watching that, actually.
All right, let's get it started for tonight. What do you got there, VG?
Crochet's on the mound for the Red Sox, but I just got a feeling the Blue Jays are going to hit them. I'm going Blue Jays tonight.
Wow. Going up against
Wow.
Crochet?
Yeah, feeling good.
You got stones.
It's just a feeling, just a vibe.
Are they a big dog?
Let me see what they are.
I think
they're
3-2 or something
plus
like that.
123. Not terrible.
That's it? Oh, okay. All right. That's actually not
You
much
like that pick?
smaller than I thought. What's that?
You like that pick?
No, I do not. But I like it in the sense that I'm in this competition with them. Sure, absolutely. Yeah, I love it.
All right, Brady.
To me, again, you're taking the worst of it there with, but again, it's just one game. Bound France is actually decent. I will say that. I actually do think he's a decent pitcher, but yeah, it's not a game I liked. I'm going to start with the Phillies. I'm going to go under 4.5 in the 5 inning line. Reason being, I have Zach Wheeler. I know I'm going to get a great effort from him. Mackenzie Gore has been terrific this year.
Oh, yeah.
Like absolutely. And by the way, his last 7 starts last year, he was great. His last 12 or 13 starts, he's been, forget number 2, he's been a number 1 starter. He's been dominant his last 13 starts. I'll take under 4.5 runs. And I hope that game will be like 1-0, 1-1, 2-0, and that ilk. My first bet.
Oh, you might as well go 2 for 1 since you got 6.
Okay. I'm going to go. It's funny. Cubs game today. Amanju's the Cubs' number 1 starter, has been great all year. Pirates, one of the worst offenses, if not the worst offense in the sport. Going against Andrew Haney, who's been absolute. I've been backing Haney all year. He's been great, not good. He's had basically 5 straight shutouts.
Switch leagues, and look what happens. When
Switch leagues. Yeah, and he's decent veteran pitchers. Had a decent career. I'm going to take under 4.5 runs again in this one. Again, I don't think Pittsburgh's going to score more than a run. And as good as the Cubs are on offense, I like the way Haney's pitching. I say this game is 1-1 after 5. I'm going to go under on that game as well.
All right. What do you got there, VJ?
Houston Astros and the Tigers. I like taking the Astros -113. They're 7-3 of their last 10. They're starting to come around. This Ryan Gusto's okay on the mound. Yeah.
Gusto.
I almost played the opposite side on that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, almost. It was almost a head-to-head.
I'm feeling good then. My picks, I'm feeling good.
It was almost a head-to-head.
Wow,
I'm going to go Andrew Haney.
VG taking a shot.
We got to fuck. But we do this unscripted, so it's great if we have like a head-to-head.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
I love look at that. I love yeah, he said he's feeling good, Braid. You're going to take that?
Yeah.
I'll be over 500
one night.
right.
I get it. I get it. He's playing. Look, he's doing well. I love VG. I'm never going to say anything bad about this guy.
No,
he's a good
but
guy,
in the spirit of competition, he's telling you.
Yeah. No, of course.
He's putting you in a corner.
I feel he hates both my picks, so I'm feeling. I might double up on. I might go 2.
Two people you don't
I might
put in
go
the
2
corner.
units on each of them.
Wow.
Oh man,
Andrew, there's shots fired.
Man, all right. Well, look, let's. That's why they play the games. I'm going to go Andrew Haney over 4.5 strikeouts. Again, as I said, he's been pitching. I'm going to double dip on this guy. So VG, if he gets lit up, you'll get a double laugh at me. But he's averaging over 7 strikeouts a game his last 4 starts. He strikes out in his career well over 1 inning. Cubs strike out well more than the average team. I say this number should have been 5.5. That's our edge on these small numbers. When you get when it's off 1, that's a big deal. Should have been 5.5. We're like over 4.5. I actually took plus $1.20, which even that made it that much better. But I like Haney to go over 4.5 strikeouts.
All right. What else? One more.
I'm gonna go couple 3 NBA I got for you. Done this one before. I'm gonna do it again. He's in his last 2 games, so I think we're getting a recency bias. So I'm gonna take advantage of that recency bias. I hope. Jalen Brunson 3.5 rebounds. He's 49-20 to the under. He just doesn't rebound. That is something he's not done this in his career. And this year, he's done it in his last 2 games. I'm going to trust the 70 games over 2 games. I'm going to go under 3.5 rebounds for Jalen Brunson.
All right.
I'm going to NHL. Kings Oilers over 6.5 goals. There hasn't been less than 7 scored in one of these games yet.
Yeah.
Skinner.
What did you say?
I was making a joke when I was
Skinner.
Yeah, they got that guy in front of me for 3 hours in a row. I'm gonna go with Michael Porter Jr. Now it's interesting. Batting a little bit in injury, guys, but he played 44 minutes last game. So I like the 44 minutes. When I'm betting over, I'm looking for minutes, right? He averaged 18 points a game this year. 18 a game. He's 65-16 to over 12.5. I have to do it. I think it's too much of an overreaction. He won over his last game. Again, the guy's a good scorer, Michael Porter. I'm taking over 12.5 all day. Like that bet very, very much.
All right. And your last pick?
Andrew Nemhard, Indiana Pacers. He averages 10 points a game. He's had a good series so far. Again, he's gone over 3 or 4 times this number about to give out. But I took over under 12.5 points. He's 49-20 to the under. He averages 10. He's played well again in 4 games, small sample size. But I'm going to go under 12.5. That again, I'm going to trust the data over 70 games, over 4 games. Plus, these things tend to go more unders than overs in the playoffs. So you're raising him 2.5 points. I think it's too aggressive. I would have it at 10.5.
All right.
Yeah, I'm good.
You're
just got
good?
the 3. Yep.
All right. Any sides you lean? Like, I can't wait to see Kings Edmonton again. There's a couple.
Yeah,
great
well, that's
series.
obviously.
Oilers got anything left?
I mean, listen, the
I
Kings play prevent like we talked about.
Yeah,
They're on their heels. Edmonton now, to me, has got the momentum.
I did bet guys in the NBA. I'll give it out. What the heck? Why not? I'll make this a 7-pack. Right?
All right, I like
3,
it.
4, 5. Yeah, 3. I bet the Knicks -5. Look, maybe this is just me being stubborn a little bit, which I try not to be. But when I watch these teams, I think the Knicks should be so much better than Detroit. Detroit all year has been that team that's just, I don't know why they've been this great. I mean, Cunningham is good, but then I see like Tobias Harris is their second best player. I psychologically can't accept it.
Do you see all the
I can't accept
X-Sixers in
it.
the playoffs? We're going to do the old
well, yeah.
X-Sixer team in the playoffs. It's sickening.
Yeah, it is. Well, Harden, obviously. and Ben
Harden,
Simmons,
Jimmy, Tobias,
Jimmy.
Isaiah Joe. I don't,
Isaiah Joe.
I mean, and they all contribute. TJ McConnell, right? Like, just off the top
You know,
of
it's
my
funny.
head.
I always, but out of those guys you said, TJ McConnell, I always loved here. Like, I thought he was a great backup. And Jimmy Butler played great here. So those two players, and he wanted to stay. They messed that
But even
up.
Isaiah Joe can shoot the three. As if,
So, yeah, Isaiah Joe was good. Isaiah Joe's he's a good role player.
Right.
100%.
yeah.
100%. But I'm gonna have the Knicks laying 5. I think they do get it done tonight. And they do finally have one good game. Although again, I give the Pistons credit. They played really well, but I thought this line should have been closer to this. This line when they played earlier was 7.5. So you're lowering it 2.5 points. I think it's too aggressive. I still like the Knicks to get it done.
All
It'll be
right.
my 7th play.
I like it. 7-pack. All right, brother.
7-pack, man.
Good luck on the 7-pack, baby.
Here we go. One video for him real quick.
Well,
It's 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I think.
Fish. Who loves you, baby? You're beautiful.
Who loves you, baby?
He's a.
That'll be us after we go combined 10-1 tonight.
Nice. Yeah.
I like it. The only thing is he littered.
He did litter.
Yeah, that's
Come on,
right.
bro. You can't litter.
It's compostable, probably. Yeah, it's just paper.
Yeah.
Compost.
That's great. All right. Who loves you, baby? Good stuff.
I love you too. That's all I can say.
Thanks,
I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good
See
luck
you,
to
buddy.
everyone out there.
See you, buddy. All right, coming up, we got the legend to go over the draft. He had a great weekend.
He looked good on TV.
He was all over the place. All over the place. Well, we're going to talk to Baldy in just a second, but let's talk about some of our friends. Big announcement, in fact. Big Brothers, Big Sisters announcement, because we got some big news to share. ALLCITY, who is our parent company, including us here at PHLY, is teaming up with Big Brothers Big Sisters of America for an exciting 3-year partnership. Now, this isn't just about sports, it's about community. Together, we're combining Big Brothers Big Sisters' incredible youth mentoring programs with the passion and power of ALLCITY's local sports coverage to create something that's really meaningful, right? Like, I love this. The partnership kicked off during our NFL draft coverage. It's not going to stop here, though. We're working year-round to support Big Brothers Big Sisters through fundraising, content, events, and even opportunities for our team, right? And maybe some of you to get directly involved. We're excited to support youth mentorship that really makes a difference. You can learn more and see how to get involved at bbbs.org/AllCity, bbbs.org/AllCity. All right, we're very excited to be a part of Big Brothers Big Sisters
Great organization
of America. It is. It really is. All right, you want to tell us about the little Shady Rays?
Yeah, why not? You know, spring is here, summer and the blazing sun is right around the corner. So it's not too early to start thinking about those eyes and protecting them from the sun. So our friends of Shady Rays got you covered. They're helping you get in the right frame of mind with their premium polarized shades without breaking your bank. Shady Rays independent sunglass company, rated over 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their sunglasses have durable frames. They got crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all your outdoor activities. And they're cool for even just driving around. So with so many colors available, You're guaranteed to find a perfect pair for you, and you can grab a couple pairs in the shades of your favorite hometown teams. If your shades ever go missing, check this out, or take an unexpected hit, you don't sweat it. They have the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair is backed by their lost or broken replacement program. And if you just don't love your shades, exchange them for a new pair or return worry-free within 30 days. So no risk when you shop. They always got your back with personal and fast support. PHLY viewers and listeners, you can go to shadyrays.com and save 35% off polarized sunglasses with the code PHLY. Over 300,000 people have rated Shady Rays 5 stars. So use the code PHLY today to save at shadyrays.com.
All right, buddy. This portion of the show is presented by Rite Aid. RiteAid.com/PHLY for the store and pharmacy nearest you. And now, the legend, the one, the only, Baldy.
Baldy, Baldy. Oh, let's talk some football. Ay, Baldy, Baldy. Oh, he likes pizza and football. Oh, Baldy.
That is still the greatest ever. What do you say, my brother?
Good morning, cuz.
By the
What's
way,
happening, man?
Yeah. Nice work.
great job, man.
Oh,
I watched you hours. You killed it.
we had fun, man. It was fun. I mean, it was it's like you prepare. Gosh, I went to the Senior Bowl this year, to the Combine. You're grinding the film, so you study for 2 months, and then that's sort of the test last weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even Sunday. Kind of looking back, it's kind of like your test. To see just your eye, how some of these kids went, who drafted who. You're sort of, I had this premonition on Tuesday that there was going to be a massive trade, involving the top 5, and it happened. And I remember, I woke up, because I'm on the West Coast, so I get up at 6 in the morning. I got a text from Baselli, what do you know? And I'm like, oh, I just have a feeling, Tony. There's one great player in this whole draft, one great one. Seems like a place that you might want to go. Anyways, it all came. So it was fun. It was a good time this weekend.
Well, also, and therein lies the difference between the NFL Network and ESPN, right? Because the NFL Network is about football, and it's about, looking at talent and projecting. And I love what these teams did. I thought this was a really good draft league-wide. Not a lot of oh my God, what are they doing? Whereas ESPN and Mel Kiper spent the whole draft bitching about one player.
God. They were like a PR team for Shador.
It was disgusting.
Horrible.
Right? It was
I gotta be honest. I had a screen.
Right.
I had a screen up, so I knew what was on. Lewis and Mel and the whole group. They were on. I never listened to anything. I'd heard the same thing that you just described, and I thought that's kind of nonsense. For example, I knew at the Senior Bowl this year, this was going to be the best and deepest draft for defensive linemen we've seen in a long time. They had 30 defensive tackles taken, 30 in this draft. If you didn't get a defensive tackle in this draft, you weren't working. You weren't doing your homework. I saw John Lynch. I knew Steelers were going defensive tackle. You could just see Tomlin was right in the middle of all this stuff. You're seeing what you're seeing, what they're seeing, and they're seeing what I'm seeing, and then you're I'm talking to John Lynch and Tomlin down there, just eyeballing some of these kids. You're like, I know they're going defensive tackle. Why wouldn't you? Look at these guys. This is what they're supposed to look like.
See,
to your point.
Yeah.
To your point, Mel wants to rant. Mel's been at this thing for 40 years. He's kind of a legend, kind of started this whole thing. But honestly, it takes away from the kids that got drafted and worked and are now, in a good spot. I thought the Eagles, we'll get to the Eagles, but it takes away from the kids and what they're trying to do and what some of these teams are trying to do.
Yeah, I got to tell you, that's exactly what it does. And it's a shame because, I looked at it and this draft stunk. It's terrible. There was a lot of really good O linemen, a lot of good D linemen. right? And to me, teams followed the Eagles' lead, if you want to say, in that they realize how you win. Like you win on the trenches, in the trenches.
Look, there was a time when the Eagles were drafting guys like Marcus Smith. Remember that, cuz? Marcus Smith. The guy couldn't play dead, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when they brought Joe Douglas and Andy Weidel on board, they changed. Like they came from Ozzie Newsome's like grading system, and they really helped. They helped Howie. I mean, I don't know if Howie wants to go out and give credit, but he's like, look, everybody's respecting Howie now, but he had to change the way they evaluated talent.
Big time.
And I thought when Joe and Andy were there, they were there for the first Super Bowl run and the win back in Super Bowl 52. I thought since that time, they practically have nailed every single draft. And so I thought those guys really helped Howie and their organization really adopt and adapt. And really now they have a real good feel for what, just letting the draft come to them like they did. And not have to go crazy and give up future picks and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Exactly right. There's a million stories of this draft that I want to get to you by. So let's start obviously with Eagles. All right, we talked a little bit about Jahad Campbell and how much we love that pick. So you could start there.
Well, I'll be honest. So I'm at the combine on a Friday night. And the linebackers are running. The defensive line had already run and worked out. So I'm literally I'm sitting in the end zone. I'm just watching Jahad Campbell warm up. I mean, you can't, I couldn't take, there was all these linebackers, all these guys, James Pierce, Jalen Walker, all these guys are out there. For some reason, I'm watching Campbell. Like I'm watching his takeoff. I'm watching him warm up. I'm watching him stretch. Like, that's what a linebacker looks like. He's 6'2", he's 235, 240, he runs a 4.5. Like, you look at him and he's playing in Alabama, he's recruited by Nick. You go, like, I don't know, I didn't know yet where he was going to be slotted, but it just looked like a first-round pick, And I remember filming him, like, warming up. I'm like, that guy's got a burst, it's natural. Like, he just was smooth in everything that he did. All the drills, he was smooth. When Eagles got him, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe you know more, cuz, about the trade up with, to get him at 31. Like, I don't know if Kansas City was taking him or whatever, but regardless.
So basically, it wasn't about Kansas City. It was about other teams trading with Kansas City.
In. Yeah,
and they just wanted to be sure because they had gotten stoned. They tried to trade up 3 different times, right?
Okay,
and he got stoned. They loved him. And Vic loved him, and they weren't going to lose. They weren't going to lose him over something like that.
Well, I mean, we talked about it last week. I mean, Vic coached the Dome Patrol back in New Orleans. He's a linebacker guy. He's a linebacker central defense in what they do. Like, I believe now you can cross-check this, but I think it's the first-round linebacker they drafted since Jerry Robinson.
Yes,
we never saw this before. But that's Vic. Like, Vic deserves to get what he wants. He's proven himself in his business, and you put him and Zach Bond and any combination in there right now. They're going to find packages for 3 linebacker sets where he's going to come off the edge because he's good off the edge. Like he can dip, he can rip, he's got speed off the edge. He can bend. So they're going to find ways to have him and Nolan Smith coming off the edge. They'll find different packages for him to keep him on the field. But it's good. Like that guy's. His drops in coverage are elite in the depth that he gets. I mean, it's a great pick. There's no way you can argue against it. Now, is it something that the Eagles have ever invested in before? Not really. But you put him and Zach Bond in there and let them go and you cover them up with Jordan Davis and Jalen and, Ojomo and their reduced fronts. Let those guys just go run and hit. I mean, you're going to get what you got last year, a bunch of forced fumbles, a bunch of fumble recoveries, a bunch of guys getting blown up. Like it's going to be like they're going to have competitions. Who's the first one to the ball? Who's the first one to get first contact?
I love that, dude. I love that. Oh my God. All right. So let's go to day 2. All right. Because day 2, I don't think, and they'll tell you this, that the board fell the way they wanted it to fall. I think the board fell a little bit differently for him. I know they wanted Fannin Jr. I know that was a pick for him, and it didn't. They weren't able to trade. There were a lot of different teams didn't want next year's picks, so there were some handcuffs, and the way the board fell kind of didn't do him any favors. But I'm curious to see what you think about Makuba, because he's like a CJ, GJ kind of kid. Like, that's who they compare him to. What do you think of him?
Well, I mean, transferred. He was at Clemson. I remember watching him when I was studying trot last year. He was at Clemson for a long time. He's been a 4-year starter. You go to Texas, you go to the elite program in this country. They've got talent everywhere. And so he shows up, like number 4. He's got interceptions. He's taking the ball. I want my safeties to take the ball away. He's an aggressive tackler. I mean, you could honestly, like Malachi Starks was sort of the cream of the crop, and maybe Emanwari were kind of the cream at safety, but Makuba was right there. If you couldn't get those guys in the first round, that's where they were going to go. Then, there was a group right below him. And I thought he was right there, because you watch these safeties in college now, like there's no such thing as a pure free safety, a box safety. Like you got in college football where there's 4 wide receivers, you have to cover as much as, well, not just that, but as much as you get 2x2 sets and they're motioning to one side to a 3x1 set. Somebody's covering these receivers.
Yep.
So safeties are dropping down and covering these guys. And that's what he had to do. So I like him. I think he's aggressive. Do you want your safeties a little bit bigger? Not, I don't know. Like, he's right there at 6 feet, 5'11", and will change or whatever. I mean, I think he's fine. I think it's a good pick. It's position of need. They lost, Chauncey. So basically all teams have packages for 3 safeties in this business right now. And there's a place to, whether it's red zone, certain passing situations, you almost have to play 3 at this time.
Did you, who's your comp? Because I saw a couple of scouts talking about CJ GJ, like that actually is his comp. I don't know. Who do you think? Who do you see him as?
I wouldn't say that. He's like that guy, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, is just a pit bull. There's a reason why he's like on his 15 now. Like, he rubs everybody wrong, but I like that. He doesn't care. Like, he runs his own teammates wrong. Like, he used to get in a fight every game when he was in New Orleans. Every game he started something. Like, he's just an instigator. Like, Makuba's not like that. He's mentally, I don't think he's like that. But some teams can't handle Chauncey. Eagles handled him twice. Detroit couldn't handle him. Like, he's bouncing, man, that guy. But he could play. So, that's why you put up with him. You saw all the stuff after the season, kind of chirping. They won a Super Bowl and he's still chirping. But like Makuba, I think is you play 4 years at Clemson at Texas. You've seen a lot of football. I don't know if I have a comp for him right now, but I think he's just a solid player. I mean, he's probably pretty close to Brian Branch, to be honest with you, the way that he plays.
I could see that. I could totally see that. All right. Yesterday, I had Matt on. He says hello, by the way.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he texts me after the Ty Robinson, we were going back and forth, and he's like, dude, I'll go on the show whenever you want. I got to talk about this kid. I go, all right. Yeah. Like, we're in. I love him. I just love the kid. He's just a coach's dream. So what do you think about him on tape?
Well, first of all, Matt was at the combine on Friday night when the defensive line worked out. He went there to watch Ty Robinson and support him in his workouts. I mean, he's just a big, thick body that loves to play football. Doesn't stay on blocks, gets off blocks, fundamentally. Like, if you got to replace Milton Williams and they got to replace Milton Williams, I think Ty Robinson's a better player. So there's nothing about this kid that says, look, we'll see if Jordan Davis can stay on the field this year and he plays a higher percentage of snaps, but he's immediately in the rotation. Milton basically became a starter last year because Jordan, was playing 30% of the snaps. So if he plays 30% of the snaps, Ty Robinson is going to get a bunch of those snaps with Jalen Carter and Ajomo. So I love him. I love the guy. Guy's got a great motor. He's got tremendous size. He's 6'6". He's 290. Like, he's just a bull. He's just a bull in there. I mean, he looks like a defensive tackle.
Yeah, he's a meat locker man.
Yeah.
In fact,
I mean, it's a great pick. But like I said, though,
we're going to do a welcome to Philly day with him. I want you to, hopefully you're up, because he's coming in, I think, the end of the week, over the weekend. Okay. And so we're going to host him over to South Philly Tap Room. All right?
Okay.
A lot of meats and the whole thing. So we want you there.
All right. Well, I would love to, meet him in person.
Yeah.
But I look, he was strong at the Senior Bowl. I don't know. Like, I thought he went right where he should go. I thought maybe a 3rd round pick, but you get him, and I think they got Milt Williams in the 4th round. Like, it's just a great replacement. You can plug and play this. He's going to play game 1 on this team. He'll be active. He'll be in the rotation. And then, how many snaps he gets depends on his production right now. But he can flat out play. And he's going to fit in real well with this defensive line rotation.
This is what's great, is that you studied everybody, right? So all these picks, VG, Baldy's studied. He knows them. All right, so Mac McWilliams, the kid from Central Florida.
Yeah. Well, look, you probably like your corners a little bit bigger, but he's got production. Mm-hmm. First time I saw him was when I really noticed him was when Colorado went to Central Florida and played him this year. And you just watch him against, Shador, you watch him against Travis Hunter, you watch him against those receivers, and he showed up. And then I did the Hula Bowl this year, and they played the Hula Bowl at Central Florida. And so a lot of those kids were hanging around working out, so I got a chance to kind of see him. But I thought, I don't know, like, they've got depth at corner right now. But, they've been hiding his. Keely Ringo was there for 2 years. He really didn't get on the field much. But, with Slay out, you got a chance right there to go compete for one of the starting spots. We know, Quinyon and Cooper are locked in. And so looks like there's a spot open, but everybody's playing 4 corners. Everybody's dressing 4. He's going to have a chance right now. He saw a lot of football in Central Florida. So I like the kid. Just like him a little bit bigger.
All right. Let's go with the second 5th round pick, and that would be Smail Mondon, the kid from Georgia who was hurt. So what do you think of Mondon?
He looks like a player, cuz he's number 2 on Georgia's defense. Like, the guy just strikes. Like, he's 6'2". Now he's a little lean because he's a pumped up safety, but he's a 3-year starter, and he looks like a pumped up safety. So, which is fine. He's probably like, I don't know if he's 220. Maybe that might be the only knock. But that guy can strike like a cobra. Like, that guy's, his lateral movement.
Like a cobra.
That guy's lateral movement and his ability to strike. Georgia doesn't make many mistakes. Like, this kid looks like a football player. I know he's banged up and missed some time, but I think they got good value right there.
All right. I like this pick too. I'm curious to see what you think of him. From Boston College. I think he's more of a center than a guard, but Drew Kendall.
He's the best center in the whole draft. Wasn't even close. Like, he's not even close. He started 37 straight games. Like, I'm friends with his dad, Pete Kendall. Like, first of all, his dad played 13 years in the league.
Yes.
All right. I saw his dad at the Senior Bowl. So we were out one night, and so I went back and I said, look, let me go study your son. Because Pete came out of Boston College, Drew went there. He's the best center in this draft. And so, can he play guard? Cuz I'm sure he can, but he played 37 straight games at center in a very good program that turns out offensive linemen every single year in this draft. They got a right tackle, Ozzie Trapillo. Mike Vrabel's son is in this league. He was a right tackle there. Like, they turn out offense. It's a factory. How they train them. How they develop them. That kid stepped on that college campus and started day 1 for Boston College. That guy could, in the right program, like, look, he's not going to beat out Cam Jurgens. He doesn't need to. But he's their backup center swing guard right now.
Right, and here's the story. Because if Cam Jurgens gets hurt, you don't have to move your all-pro guard to play
Brandon
center.
Dickerson. No,
right? Like,
you keep Brandon Dickerson next to Malata.
Right.
Yeah, smart. Like the kid's super smart. He's super tough. Like he's big. He's big enough. I mean, he's 6'4". But his dad was a great player, man.
Yeah.
Dad played 13 years. Like he's got bloodlines there.
Yeah. And then Kyle, right? It's a perfect spot, right? Because there's no pressure. Come in, we'll develop you. You sit for 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is. You know, you learn. It's a great spot. I was talking to Derek McCord, Kyle's dad, and I'm like, dude, this is a dream. Forget the fact that you guys love the Eagles and all this stuff, but it's a dream situation because you just go in and you got a job for a couple of years and you can develop.
Well, I mean, Tanner McKee is still here, right? So, you know, eventually they're probably going to trade one of these guys, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Like he's going to get a chance to be the third quarterback. That's his first, you know, if you're practice squad, if they go to practice squad, fine. But, you know, quarterbacks on practice squad, like they get plucked. So the goal.
DTR, they're going to move DTR. I don't think DTR is the guy. They love McKee. McKee's their true backup, and you develop Kyle as your third quarterback.
Well, I mean, that's the competition right there for the number 3 job. And that's Kyle's, you know, that's his. I mean, that would be my goal if I was Kyle this year. Go beat out DTR, get the number 3 spot. Any injuries take place, all of a sudden you're in the mix. You know, there's no rush to play him. He's going to be well coached. He's going to watch a really elite program. It's fantastic for Kyle. Like, look, he's played at a high level at 2 places and one big at Ohio State, you know, and then at Syracuse last year. It's a great place. He's coming back home. You know, it's great. It's a great place for him.
All right. Then they take 2 project tackles, right? Let's go to.
Well, Miles Hinton. Look,
did you play with Chris Hinton?
Yes. He's the single best offensive lineman I've ever played with, and maybe one of the best I've ever seen. You know, he was involved in the John Elway trade in '83. You know, from Baltimore to Indianapolis, and honestly, there's not 10 guys that have ever played tackle in this league that are as talented as Chris Hinton. Now, Chris Hinton was a freak. He was a freak athletically, but he came out of Northwestern. The guy owns 20 McDonald's. Like the guy is a multi-millionaire. But his 2 kids, Chris Hinton, his son, last year is with the Chargers. This kid, Miles, he bounced around from Stanford, all right, goes to Michigan, starts at Michigan. Like the guy is just super smart, can play any position, can play guard, can play tackle, got enormous size. I think he's over 6'7". But I tell you, we used to have, you know, back in the day, we had these drills, these Oklahoma drills. Like you'd go out there and it was just one-on-one football. For 20 minutes, you play one-on-one football. There wasn't one guy we had a good team in Indianapolis. We had one guy that could stay in front of Chris Hinton and could take him on. Like you just heard a collision. That guy was so talented. His ability to explode was like nothing else. And he'd go out, Bruce Smith, go out there and just shut Bruce Smith down. Like I don't even know if he even put like gloves on. Like it was just so easy for that guy.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like I love that bloodlines guys are a big deal. I'm a believer in the bloodlines, man.
I am too. I said it about Mason Taylor, his dad. I saw his dad coaching D-line at Miami. I'm a big believer in bloodlines, and not just bloodlines, but like guys that were great players.
Yeah.
You know, during my era, his kids are coming up now. You know, Trott's kid, whatever. Like they've been around the game their whole life. That's all they know. They've been in the locker room. They've been on the sidelines. You know, I'm a big believer.
Yeah. And listen, you know, you go and get Coach Stout, right? Like, you know, you get 2 tackles. The other kid is a complete project, right? But you're giving him the best, right? The best professor of O-line.
Well, I tell you, I'll give you a story. So this year, the Eagles, they signed Mekhi Becton, they signed Fred Johnson. Mekhi obviously is all-world this year. He's now starting with the Chargers. But I saw Fred Johnson started 4 games for Mulata last year. when he hurt that hamstring. And I did some breakdowns on Fred where you couldn't tell, honestly. Like Fred has bounced around this league, but he's enormous. He's 6'7", he's 330, 340, and he played really well. And I told Fred, you're going to get yourself a contract. And so these guys come in under Stout, and they're here for a year, they're here for 2 years. Jack Driscoll was here, went to Miami, came back here. Like all these kids are going to develop. And then these smart teams, like the Chargers this year, go out and pluck one of the guys. So they've got a ton of guys that have played. You know, they got Tyler Steens played. They've got Kenyon Green that's played. They draft these kids. All these kids will develop. And I got to tell you, I was talking to Bucky Brooks, who's tied to the Jacksonville program. So Baselli was here. He was, before he became the president of the organization now, Jacksonville came here to play last year. So we're in the end zone, and Eagles offensive line Stout is all working out. And Baselli's looking at me, he goes, does Lane Johnson and Malata take reps in pregame warmups like this every game? I go, yeah, every game that game comes down. He goes, we don't have anybody warming up in our end. Like, we didn't even have a quarterback warming up. I go, this is what the Eagles, all the Eagles warm up. And they all take reps with Stout. They all walk through things, starters, backups, practice squad guys. Like, it's becoming, and I started filming it and putting it out there on my, on some of my breakdowns. I'm like, if teams aren't taking advantage of Sundays where you can work your guys out, get another day in pads, go walk through some things, like that's how you develop. They never stop developing. So all these kids, whether it's Cameron Williams, who's got size, whether it's Miles Hinton, Drew Kendall, like these kids are going to develop beginning at their rookie mini camp next week.
Yeah, I that's a great point. Such a great point. All right, let's go to the division. What'd you think, Cowboys?
I thought the Cowboys had a good draft, honestly. Like, I was a big Tyler Booker fan. I met him at Offensive Line Masterminds last year in Frisco, where the Cowboys practiced. And, the whole, NIL money, some of these kids are actually smart. The whole offensive line in Alabama flew themselves to Offensive Line Masterminds for 3 days around Lane Johnson, myself, 400 guys. And Tyler Booker, at this point, a kind of kid he is. Not because of me. The kid came up, introduced himself to me, and Caden Proctor, the left tackle. The whole group said, hey, would you mind? Could we sit down and watch film with you? Would you mind watching our game against Georgia? We sat down with Tyler Booker, watched the game against Georgia, gave him some pointers, pointed some things out. He was telling me some of the audibles, checks that they did at Alabama. The kid's a stud. He'll be the leader of that group. You lose Zach Martin. It's a Hall of Fame player at right guard. You plug him with Tyler Booker. I love Ezra Roku. He's a South Jersey kid from Boston College. Like, the kid led FBS in sacks last year, but he's a good player.
Great kid, too, by the way. We had him on the show. Great kid.
Did you?
Yeah. Great kid.
But, yeah, the kid Ravel, like, he got hurt last year, but, like, he's a good player at East Carolina. You could look at, Jaden Blue, the running back, and you could go, well, he's kind of undersized. He's a scat back, but he can run. Like, I thought the Cowboys did really good. I thought they got, two starters for sure. And Ravel, if he's healthy, he probably have 3 starters in that group.
All right, how about the Giants? Of course, they make noise about trading up for Jackson Dart, but they took our boy. They got our boy, the Scatterbo. Scatterboo, baby. Oh,
I'm going to tell you right now.
Scatterboo.
Like, they're going to be booing in Giant Stadium. I love this kid, man.
I know.
They're going to love him. They're going to love him. He's drafted probably in the right place because of whatever speed he runs. They're going to love him. He's going to be a good 1-2 punch with Tyrone Tracy. Abdul Carter, he might be the rookie of the year, defensive player of the year. He's got a chance. You trade up for Dart, you need a quarterback. All right. If he develops, this thing is a home run. But I love Darius Alexander. Like, that kid at Senior Bowl. He played at, at Toledo. But this kid is a big-time player. I think he starts next to, Dexter Lawrence inside. Like, I thought they had a really good draft. And if Dart, it really makes no sense to have Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston right now. Like, honestly, if you want to start Russell, that's fine. But there's really no point to keeping Jameis Winston on the roster. You got Jackson Dart. You got to develop him. You got to let him be the scout team quarterback. If something happens to Russell or he goes south, start playing the kid. Find out if he can play or not play. So I thought and Marcus Hembu, like honestly, that kid at Purdue, that's a good football player. Like he's going to push for time.
Yeah.
At either guard or tackle for him right now. I thought they had a good draft.
And you know what? I'll be honest with you. I thought Washington had a good draft too. I thought that was pretty sneaky.
Well, I mean, they went out, they got themselves a left tackle free agency, but, Connerly was a first-round pick. So maybe he competes at right tackle right now with, that's a possibility. Trey Amos, the corner, he had first-round talent. Like, you can see the talent, and they needed that too. They needed an upgrade. They picked up Lattimore last year. Maybe he returns to form. Amos, like, they've got better. Jalen Lane, the wide receiver, they lost Diami Brown, so they needed a wide receiver so he can fill that spot right there. The kid Medrano from UCLA, they had 3 good players at UCLA.
Yeah.
3 really good players. And so he was in, one of them was Schlesinger, who went, early in the draft, first round pick.
Linebacker, yeah.
Yeah, but he was all world last year. But yeah, Medrano was there was a third player. Like I thought they drafted well.
Yeah, I think that kind of is the story. How did you handle the Shador? What was your ultimate take after looking back at the way everything played out with the quarterbacks? What's your kind of 50,000 foot?
Look, when Cleveland took Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round, they said everything you need to say about him. First of all, this was an unusual draft in that there weren't that many quarterback-needy teams to begin with. And Tennessee was picking number 1, and they decided, on Cam Ward early in the process. So they were off the board. So you could look at Giants, you could look at Raiders, you could look at Seattle, you could look at some teams. Giants traded in, they took Jackson Dart. They all evaluated these guys above Shador. But when they took Dylan Gabriel, honestly, nothing against Dylan Gabriel. The guy started 60-something games. He's a good kid. He's a good player. But there's no way that kid, he's so small. Like, I saw him at the Senior Bowl. I'm like, I just bypassed him. Like, he can't play. He's not going to be able to see. And so when they took Dylan Gabriel over him, they kind of said, look, the evaluation is he's not a first-round pick, and he's not a franchise quarterback. Can he become one? Well, Brock Purdy became one. He's going to get $60 million. Like, so he's going to get that chance. But they'd rather start Joe Flacco at age 40 right now. So I guess he'll get a chance. But I just said, look, you get taken to the 5th round. I don't care who you are. You might as well be a free agent. I was a free agent. Just go prove yourself. Go check in at the Embassy Suites across the street from the facility. Get the playbook. Immerse yourself in the playbook. Know it forwards and backwards. Get to know your teammates. Become a great teammate. And prove everybody wrong. That's what I said.
Yeah, I think that's wise. That's Baldy wise right there. My brother, what's your schedule then? When are you going to take off? You have a trip?
I could be out of the country next week. I could be out of the country next week at this time. Possible.
South America?
I could be like, honestly, on some coral reef in Belize next week at this time.
Yeah. All right. I'm smelling that.
I want to see reef sharks going by.
Yeah.
And big jumbo turtles.
Yeah.
Dolphins jumping out of the water. Yeah.
All
I'm gonna pack the draft this week, because that's what you're supposed to do. And I enjoy talking about it. So I'll do that this week, but then I'm ready to check the passport.
All right. Well, we got another session with us, and then are you going to get back to Jersey before you leave?
Yeah. I'll probably get back. I need to do some things. I'll be back there maybe Sunday or Monday next week.
All right. Well, let me know because I'm going to stop by real quick before you leave.
Okay.
All right.
Let's have a visit.
Sounds good.
All right, cuz.
All right, brother.
Great, man.
You're the man.
See you, buddy.
Baldy.
Going to unpack the draft because that's what you're supposed to do. Love it.
There's no better. I mean, he's a true football man.
Yeah.
All right. When it comes to football, man, it doesn't get better than Baldy.
No, it sure doesn't.
The analysis of the draft of those late picks, like I was with him breaking down film, and he's a maniac breaking down film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's
I don't know if there's anyone better right now.
There's 50 coffees, and then there's just raw meat. That's what it is. Speaking of Jihad Campbell, and Ezra Roku and all the local talent that we have, coming up shortly, we're going to visit with Coach Melik Brown, who trains a lot of these guys, including Jihad Campbell, big fixture in South Jersey when it comes, especially D-line, linebackers. Coach Melik knows his stuff, and he knows Jihad. So we're going to get an inside view of Jihad with Coach Melik.
It's excellent to get a nice personal view.
I love that stuff. And I love the talent that we have locally. I'm a huge fan. You know that. So we'll do that coming up next. But first, let's talk about some of our friends. Like Rothman. Yes, we are brought to you by Rothman Orthopedics. Look, we've all been there, right? Trying to push through that injury or nagging pain, but it just doesn't get any better. And you're bummed out, the whole thing. But that's why we have Rothman Orthopedics. We trust Rothman Orthopedics. So whether it's running, golfing, playing with your kids, right? Like me, I got the 2 animals that I got to work out. Rothman's experts specialize in treating all types of musculoskeletal issues. They focus on high-quality, compassionate care that's going to have you feeling better and back to doing what you love to do. That's the beauty of Rothman. They have a team, an expert for each body part. So all their doctors specialize. Neck, right? Back, elbow, shoulder, ankle, knee, you name it. Team for every body part right here in our backyard. So if pain's slowing you down, it's time to take action. Head on over to RothmanOrtho.com/PHLY. Schedule your appointment today. Rothman Orthopedics. Your mobility is their mission. All right. Also, Parks Casino. Let's talk about it. We told you about the Bet Parks app. What about Parks Casino, the mecca of entertainment, events, right?
Sight Center. Good room.
Great room, right? They have all the award-winning restaurants, right? Located off of Street Road, Bend, Salem. It's a fun time all summer long, all year long. All right. They have incredible headliners. You name it. And you can go check it out. Dinner and the show, right? So you got Bamboo Noodle House, the Parks Grill Steakhouse, the Beer Garden, Liberty Bell, all right? And then they have the Chickies and Pete's.
My father-in-law is a heavy gambler. Loves Vegas. He lives in Fishtown. He doesn't go to Bet Rivers, he could walk there. He goes to Parks.
There you go.
It's his favorite.
Parks Casino. This is how you win. Tickets on sale now for these headliners. May 16th, Larry the Cable Guy.
Get her done.
May 30th, country artist Ashley McBride.
I never wanted to be that girl.
June 6th, the sounds of Taj Mahal, Kev Mo.
Woke up this morning, mama, had them Statesboro blues.
June 14th, Clutch.
Bang, 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 bang. Vamonos, vamonos.
July 3rd, Gary Clark Jr.
Here come old Flap Top, he come grooving up slowly.
You all right, Andrew? You're quiet.
Yeah.
You didn't even do your...
Yeah.
Oh, I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
She's like a mouchade.
I don't know what that means, but...
Like a moosh. No,
I'm good.
Yeah?
Low energy today, he is.
He's
Tired, if anything.
You're tired. Oh, I know why you're tired. July 12th, comedian Mark Norman. July 18th, KC and the Sunshine Band.
Do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight. Get down tonight.
Comedian Russell Peters, September 27th. Comedian Brian Regan, November 22nd. Don't forget, dinner and drinks before the show, parkscasino.com to buy all tickets for all shows. Parks Casino, this is how you win. You got to be 21. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Now, Tim in the chat says Park's a great time for the Kentucky Derby.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
sure they do it.
Derby
They probably
stuff.
do it up there.
Yeah,
right?
they're going to do it up big.
Yeah.
That's Saturday.
It is. Yeah.
We got to get the Girardi on.
You're right.
We need Dick
Yeah.
to talk about the Derby. All right. I love this. We love Jihad Campbell. Love this pick. Let's get a different insight into who the kid is. Local kid, right? Timber Creek. Like this is a big deal. We got lots of great local talent. And you know what? To foster the talent, we have a lot of great football men, trainers, right? Coaches. within the area working with them. So we got our man, Coach Melik Brown, on the line with us, who work with Jihad. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me on, Ant.
Good to see you, buddy.
Absolutely.
Tell us about all the talent, right? Like, I'm so proud. Coach, like, listen, Philadelphia's in my heart, right? On my sleeve.
Right.
And this region, we got real talent. And you saw it in the draft.
South Jersey took over the draft this weekend, man. It was an unbelievable experience this weekend. We seen about 8 or 9 kids that we kind of like put hands on get drafted or get picked up by teams this weekend, seen their dreams come true. So it was definitely an amazing weekend.
So let's talk about it, all right? So first, let's start with Jihad. Now, you work with Jihad. What a beast, man. Like, coming home, and he's a great kid, too. The other aspect is these kids are good kids, man, and you really want to root for.
Absolutely, man. He's a special one, man. Definitely came in with a chip on his shoulder, wanting to prove everybody wrong, wanting to prove that he belonged, and he did just that, man. From the time, like, it's some people that's been training him before me and some people after me, and everybody, like, the network that's been around him to develop him into the person that he is today is phenomenal. His support system is amazing, man. But that kid got the heart of a lion, man. Y'all gonna love him in Philly, I promise you that. You're gonna love him in Philly.
When did you first realize how good he was going to be? Obviously, before he goes to IMG, he's here locally at Sicklerville.
Right. So we started working together kind of like in between his sophomore and junior year of high school, and you can just kind of see the twitch. He always had the speed in there, working with Joe Shutt, one of the speed trainers around here. He's been doing that since he was probably like 7 or 8 years old. So we always knew he can run. But then, like, we got a thing out here where most of our linebackers and defensive linemen that play receiver in high school and are really good at it, they're going to be a pretty good football player. So, and then, when a kid that just loves to work like that, man, and tough as nails, then they're going to have a bright future. So you can see that early on with Jihad. You can see how tough he was and how he just wanted to win. He just wanted to compete. Those guys that just want to knock somebody's head off, man, you got to watch out for those dudes.
It's funny. You see it. I see it on the youth level with my kids, right? And so being around it, like when you see them and they hit a kid and they like it.
And they love it.
Yes, right? Like that's when you go,
they love
all right, we got something here,
That's
man.
one of the first questions I ask a kid that plays for me, because I'm also a head coach over here at Camden Eastside, my old high school. So that's one thing I ask when the kids come in, I ask them, do they like or they love football? The kids that love football, you can tell because it's different for them. And Jihad was one of those kids that was real different for him.
Yeah, and that's it. You can see it, right? Like, whether it's in college at Alabama, like going to the elite of the elite, right? Like and there's got to be a great sense of pride for you when I'm
gonna tell you this. When it clicked for everybody when he went to the Under Armour camp, it was raining. He went out there and clocked a laser 4, 5, 6. Everything, like the lights flipped on for everybody. But we always knew what it was. But when they saw him do that and saw how he competed in the rain and wasn't shying away from anything, like that's kind of what that class of kids and athletes in South Jersey was. Like the Jihad Campbells, the Fidel Diggs, the Isaiah Ricks, and all those guys, like that was who they were. And they kind of like were stepping stones, boom, 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 to put South Jersey on the map.
That's awesome. What year was that in his growth when he did at the Under Armour camp?
I want to say that was probably his sophomore going into junior year, somewhere around there. It was right, but actually, I think it was his junior year before his senior year, because I think it was right before he left to go to IMG.
That VG, like that's a big deal.
IMG?
Yeah. No, at that Under Armour camp.
Yeah,
like if you could show out there, everybody watches you, everybody knows you.
And it is special, man. Like for me personally, I coached Fidel Diggs in high school. I coached Miles Frazier in high school. So to see those two dudes compete against each other every day and then compete against everybody and then get drafted, and then Fidel going to go play with Cesar Ruiz, because I coached Cesar in high school as
Oh,
well.
wow,
So
get out.
to kind of
That's
see that,
awesome.
like it's just amazing, man. So between 7-on-7 and guys that I actually coached and trained, man, it was about 8 or 9 kids from South Jersey that saw their dreams come true this weekend.
What'd you think about Ezra Roku too? I was talking about him.
Man, I love Donovan.
I love Donovan. What a great kid, right?
So what he's a very smart kid. He's a very aggressive, passionate kid that loves the game of football. Donovan, he played 7-on-7 for our 7-on-7 program a while ago where he was just a receiver. Once he bought into being a defensive lineman, it was lights out for that kid. And then when he got to college and starting to hone into those skills, man, Donovan made everybody notice who he was at a very early stage in college or whatever. He just carried that on, and his last year was just phenomenal. You couldn't have scripted any better for that kid.
And you know what I love too? What a beautiful family! Like
yes,
wonderful, like just really good pillars of the community type of people.
You talk about those unblockable kids, those kids that run on the ground. Donovan is one of those kids. He's one of those edge rushers that run on the ground.
And how about Tootin? Did you run into Tootin at all?
So I know of Tootin. I know a lot of Tootin. I know his family. I know a lot of his cousins and his older relatives or whatever. I didn't actually put my hands on him, but I did watch Bashaw, and I watched the stages that he went through from A&T to Virginia Tech, now to just being like somebody that was overlooked to get his opportunity and then take advantage of it. Man, that kid deserves all the applause in the world too.
So what do you, when you see guys like this, right? Like this is so interesting because there's going to be kids that are going to be watching this, right? You know, at what point do you tell them, all right, you're in youth football and you're whatever youth football program, you got youth football, you're going to be going into 7-on-7 at some points, you got camps. When do you kind of look at a kid and kind of look and say, all right, this kid's got something?
I mean, sometimes you can see it in youth football. You can see the kids that are just that twitchy that they don't belong on that field, right? And you just want to keep pushing them up and up and up. But sometimes, just, with age requirements and things like that, you can only push them so far. But some kids you just see, they have that it factor. And those kids, because it's like, me being a high school coach, me playing at the University of North Carolina, I played for the Soul for a little bit, and being in the CFL, I kind of been around guys that you can just see it. So like being around all of these kids for all of these years, especially at the youth level, you'd be like, okay, that kid got it. This is what he's going to need to keep transcending to the next level and the next level and the next level. And you try to keep those people around him and to build those things around that kid.
Yeah, see how, isn't that awesome? Mm-hmm. I love this stuff. Do you at what age do you start to recommend that you have beast up academy?
So I start training kids at 9.
Wow.
The youngest that I will start is at 9, because some kids at 9 years old, if they know how to really play with their hands up front, whether offense or defensive line at 9, then you can start to teach them those other intangibles to start building them out. Like it's some kids that started with me at 9, 11, and they're like growing out to be something special now that's in high school now. And some of them are in college and things like that, doing really good things. So 9 is around the time where I will really start to lay my hands on them, because like I'll tell the kids now, I'll be like, listen, the things that I'm teaching you, when you leave here, these coaches are going to know that you got all the fundamentals down pat.
Yeah.
I'm not the flashy trainer guy. I don't do all the little flashy things, but we're going to work, and I'm going to teach you how to work because I know what they're looking for on the next level. That's why being over here at Eastside, some of my kids are being highly recruited year in and year out, because the coaches come in and they know, like, okay, I can teach them concepts. I don't have to teach them fundamentals. They have a great balance of fundamentals under their belt. They're tough as nails. I can put them in my system, teach them my system, and they play right away.
Look at that. Look at that. All right, give me a couple names to watch that we should put on our radar.
On your radar, that's in high school now or in college? Like what?
Yeah, in high school.
In high school, so right now I have a kid that actually plays for me, Elijah Satchel. Elijah Satchel. He has official visits set up to North Carolina State, Kentucky, Northwestern. National Honor Society kid.
Oh, that's awesome.
About 6'3", 230 pounds.
What position?
He plays edge, he plays
Edge.
linebacker.
Yeah.
I have Jason Nitz. He's a sophomore. He plays at St. Joe's Prep.
Yeah.
All of my youth kids at St. Joe's Prep, they're all going into their junior year this year. So I did coach them in youth football. They're going Jason Nitz, Charlie Folk, Messiah Acree, John Boggs, like the Walter Brown, like the list goes on and on and on. Like those kids are going to have real special years over there as well. And then Amora Dale, he's another defensive end that I have over here with me at Camden Eastside.
Messiah's going to be really, really good, right? Like he's going to.
And I'm going to tell you something funny. Messiah's a better running back than he is a defensive back.
Are you serious? Oh my God.
Absolutely. That kid with the ball in his hand is dangerous.
Wow.
He's dangerous with the ball in his hand.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's some special kids in this area, man. And it's like if people can get a chance to check these kids out and watch these kids play week in and week out, they'll be impressed. A lot of us here knew that this would happen for a bunch of them. Like a kid like LaQuint Allen, who played for me for 7-on-7, tough as nails, played running back, played safety. He and another kid like Jada Byers, right? Who is still trying to figure out, like they would take over games. Like Elijah Cinco Clark, like he got picked up by the Cowboys. Like these kids would take over games in 7-on-7, and it'll be like because I was with Next Level Greats with their 7-on-7 program. These kids will go into every state around. We traveled everywhere, and we just took over games with 6 to 12 kids. But that main nucleus of kids, unstoppable. So everybody that been around these kids knew that this was going to happen. I mean, we super proud of these kids, and it's like I go on social media and I just see trending. All these kids Isaiah Rakes to the Titans is really underrated because the work that kid put in. So he's my blueprint for my training program.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
I tell all the kids, Isaiah Rakes junior year, he went to 11 college football camps. He only had like 1 or 2 offers. He went to 11 camps and he earned his offers from all of those camps that he went to.
Wow.
And he would literally take every single rep. Like if somebody else wanted to rep, the coaches had to tell Isaiah he needed to come off the field. So when I tell kids, when you go to college camps, make them coaches notice you.
Yeah.
Those coaches want to see how you're going to work with their staff and things like that. And then keep going, because a lot of those kids, they'll pay their money, but they don't really want to work out. So if they don't want to work out, take every rep possible until somebody tells you not to. You know what I mean? So and just about Beast Up was founded and started with a kid, Jared Jones Smith, who went to West Catholic.
Yeah.
He ended up going to Pitt. Then he ended up playing. He just finished up last year with the Falcons. He was the first kid that I ever trained. So his mom and my mom grew up on the same block downtown, lived on the same block downtown Camden. And then when I came home from college, Jared, when I left, he was probably 5'8", 5'9". When I came home, he was 6'5". So I said, "Oh wow!" So, and he was a basketball player. So, and then he didn't really love football. Then we got him to love football, and then he had multiple opportunities to play in the NFL. So, he played in the Super Bowl with the 49ers and things like that. So it's like his dreams have definitely come true in South Jersey, and I'm glad everybody's starting to notice it.
I love it. By the way, we're in overtime now, and this is great stuff. Like I want to kind of follow along the journey with you periodically, where we talk about the kids. Oh, by the way, if people are interested, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Man, they can you can either reach me on Twitter or X at Beast Up Academy, Instagram Prime Beast 58. My cell phone, whatever, the easiest way. And anyway, any social media outlet or anything like that, they can get in contact with me.
Coach, I love this stuff. I'm so proud of the kids. And I knew you would be great to talk about.
You got to come check me out, man. You got to come check
I'm
me
checking
out.
you out. No, you know, listen, I'm bringing my animals to come see you.
Yeah,
you know that.
Bring them over because you know I got about I got a bunch of his teammates over there with me that's putting in some work. Nick Costa and those guys.
Oh yeah, Nicky, Frankie's son. Yeah,
Nick, man.
Nicky's a baller.
Nicky is going to turn some heads this spring.
Yeah,
especially camps and stuff like that. He's starting to get some traction going.
Nick is a junior.
He'll be a senior this year, but he's a junior right now. He'll be a senior this year.
So for the audience, Nick Costa, his dad is Frank, who is the quarterback of Penn State.
Miami.
What am I saying?
Miami.
I know Frankie 100 years, and
that kid. You talk about a kid who's just now transitioning from a quarterback to a defensive end. The kid is about 6'4", about 235, 240, runs 4'6", 4'7" range, and just super explosive. He going to turn some heads this spring.
That's awesome, man. I love this stuff,
We're going to cut him loose.
We're going to cut him loose. That's it, Coach.
We're going to cut him loose.
I love it.
We definitely going to cut him loose.
I love it. Well, Charlie Falk's dad, Charlie, is a buddy of mine, and Charlie loves you. Like this.
Oh man,
Charlie's good people, man.
That's my guy.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
Yeah,
that's my guy.
My brother, listen, great stuff, and we'll be over to see you soon. All right.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you for having me, man.
What a pleasure. A lot of fun, man.
Absolutely.
Great to see you, Coach Melik. See you, buddy. There's Coach Melik Brown checking in. I love all these
kids. The boys over there.
But I love all these kids like that. Look at all these kids in our area that are getting drafted. Like, that's a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
Anyway, it's one of my passions, our local young athletes.
I love when we dominate Western PA and stuff.
Yes.
Especially football.
All right, you got anything for me?
Yeah, we can do a couple quick nugs if you want. Tom Brady's out there and about. There's a video of him. You see this? He's talking about the sidearm throwing that Mahomes and Josh Allen do. He kind of breaks it down for you, where it's not really a sidearm throwing. It's more of a spine tilt throw, but he breaks it down.
All right.
Maybe
create a 90-degree angle, but you see, if I put my arm at a 90-degree angle and I just change my hip position, I'm not changing my arm angle.
It's like those throws with Pat and Aaron where it's sometimes an announcer will say it looks like sidearm, but it's really not sidearm.
It's really a side bend.
What's going on, man?
Just change my hip position, I'm not changing my arm angle.
It's like those throws.
He's basically saying it's like a hip. They're pivot. They're bending at the hip.
Thrown on their
hand. It's the same arm slot motion.
Right,
they're tilting their body over.
Yeah. Yeah. Which makes sense, right? Because if you're thrown over your head, like behind your ear, the way we'll throw behind your ear, right?
Yeah.
But if you're tilted like this, you're still throwing it.
Yeah.
But you're not really like a pitcher who's coming like a submariner. It's different. Yeah. Because your angle is still this way over your ear.
Still the same throwing angle. Yeah. Interesting. I always like when players are cool with young fans. So Kiki Hernandez was at a signing, and a little girl made him a bracelet. It's a cool interaction.
I made a bracelet for you after the game.
Thank you very much.
Have you two
What's your name?
Next one, please.
Alana. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Save another fate you give Penelope.
I'm going to wear it tomorrow for the game.
There you go.
We gotta look for it. We gotta look for it.
Bullpen has been a strength for them all year long.
He's got it on at the game.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Last two innings, 6 of 8 Dodgers have reached.
He might not
Runners
take it
go.
off.
Kike hammers the ball. Left field and deep. Another Hernandez.
He
Another
might keep it on for a few games. That girl's got to be out of her mind, right?
What a story. I love that. Oh, my God. That's great. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Iowa State saw this catch. McKenna Andrews, she plays softball, third base. Great reflex at the hot corner. Ball gets ripped to her.
2-2. Lined. But a nice grab.
It ripped to her. She
McKenna
gets enough to stick it up in the air and then follows through with it.
Here it is.
Ooh.
Wow.
What a catch.
Does it get
Oh, my God. That ball was screamed.
Yeah, we got a little theme here. Eli Manning was sitting front row with his daughters, mic'd up at the Devils game. If we just listen to like 30 seconds of it, it's cool. It's like 2 minutes long.
Okay. Yeah, I love to hear it.
He's kind of likable.
He is likable.
A lot of hockey players in the playoffs, they don't shave. They grow their playoff beard.
I know.
So I started mine. How's it look?
Horrible.
Are you growing a playoff beard? Oh, Jimmy! Go again! What?
So you gotta think, this is like 2 years long, but he's telling him, if you sit here, you can't flinch.
Oh.
And he ends up flinching the biggest as a puck comes right at him. Check it out. It's cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
One more. I want to skip. Let's go to Samson Nakua.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Puka's brother.
Yeah.
We got in a fight in the
He hit
league.
one of our people. Battle Hall. One of Coach
You're right.
Beck's fans. He
Right.
smacked him.
Yeah, the fan.
Smacked the fan.
Yeah.
It's outrageous. I don't know how you just smack him. You smack a Battle Hall. That can't go on.
Do that again. Let me see it again.
Oh, man.
You got slapped.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right, let's go back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right.
We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day with Rite Aid. Yeah!
I believe if my math is correct, it's 13 years ago yesterday. A young 19-year-old Bryce Harper made his debut in Dodger Stadium.
Wow. Bryce.
And a 3-2 coming. On a pitch up, he rims it to center. Way over the head of Matt Kemp. That'll short hop the wall. And Bryce Harper dips his way into his first major league hit. That was a laser.
19 years old.
Imagine that.
No.
Smashing that ball over dead center. Bryce's first. That's awesome, man.
That's cool.
That's a great. He crushed that ball, too.
Yeah, he did.
That's awesome.
All right. That's all I got for now.
That's good stuff. There's your Rite Aid back in the day moment.
Oh, wait. I got one more. Oh, I want to talk to you about our boy. Jamie sent me over Pope odds.
What is it?
The odds for the new Pope.
Oh, really?
Yes. There's one name that just stands out. I got to go all in on this guy. Pierre Battista Pizzaballa. Pizzaballa.
Pizzaballa?
Yes. What? He's the Patriarch of Jerusalem. He's from Bergamo in northern Italy, the Lombardy region. Pierre Battista Pizzaballa.
Pizzaballa?
That's his last name?
Yes, all one word. Pizzaballa.
Pizzaballa. Oh, that's fantastic.
He's got to be the Pope. He's got to be the Pope.
Pizza Ball is awesome,
Yeah,
man.
man. I'm all about Pizzaballa. His odds are, he's one of the favorites. His odds are plus 650. So he's seventh in odds so far, plus 650. The lead, the favorite is
the favorite?
Luis Antonio Tagli, plus 180.
All right, he's plus 180.
How often do those like favorites iron out though?
Who knows?
We got to find somebody inside Rome, man. Get an inside thing.
You got people.
When are we going to have somebody? Who you like? Who's going to win it? We're going to have
Pope Pizzaballa.
Blue Horseshoe likes Pope Pizzaballa.
He's got a good goatee. I'm down with this guy.
Yeah. I'm down with him.
Is his first name Pepperoni?
As long as it's not pineapple. All right. All right, everybody. Have a great day. It's going to do it for us. Have a wonderful day. We love you. We'll see you in the morning.
We all silly like the mayor.